Hi, I'm Renee Smith.
And I'm Tammy Fellers, and we're math consultants at SDAC in Hutchinson, Kansas.
So today we have a deck for you that follows a previous deck that was understanding place values 0 to 999. Yes. And now we are targeting
1,000 plus is what we're calling it.
Right, we're 1,000 plus. So we've moved up in grade levels. But basically,
so now we're specifically at 4th and up.
Right.
Obviously, some 5th graders are still going to need some of this work, but the standard comes in at the 4th grade.
So at this point, what we would strongly suggest to you, if you haven't seen that previous video, that you watch it to see how this process began with smaller numbers. But we're just going to kind of continue that type of thinking as we go through this few cards.
Because oftentimes students understand the name of the place. They can rattle off 1, 10, hundreds, or 1 million, 100,000, 10,000, 1,000. They can name all those places, don't really understand that whole 10 times greater, the whole value piece.
Right.
My example always is 984. How many tens are in that?
It's not
8.
8.
It's 98. There are 98 tens in that number. Again, as you do this, you may have students think about this in terms of money. If you only had $1 bill, $10 bills, $100 bills, $1,000 bills, which I know don't exist, but helping them
10 times the concept of 10 times greater each place.
How can you make that only using those bills?
Right.
Not our 5s and 20s also.
Right.
So we're going to start with our first card, which is 1,200, 1,200.
Right. And as always on our cards, we expect that the first row be completed in the most efficient manner. So in this case, we would expect a student to say that would be 1,200, 0 tens, and 0 ones.
Absolutely.
Because that's the most efficient way to make that number. And so their total would be 1,200. But the next row is a little different because now if we were building these with our base 10 blocks, we wouldn't be able to use the thousands because you have a 0 in that in that row. And so now we're looking at a 0 in the thousands place, a 0 in the tens place, and a 0 in the ones place. All I get to use are my tens rods to build 1,000.
No, my hundreds flats.
Oh, sorry, hundreds flats. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. So I can only use hundreds flats. So in order to build that, I could count by hundreds.
100, 200, 300, and actually use those.
Use the base 10 blocks.
These first few numbers, you could use your base 10 blocks with.
And it would take 12 of those.
It would take 12 of those. So there are 1,200s in 1,200. Okay.
Okay. The next one, you did let me use the 1 in the thousands place.
Okay.
And 10 in the tens place. And so now I have to understand that
in the
10 tens actually makes 100. So what I really have represented there right now is 1,100. I need to have 1,200, so I need another 100.
So I'm only going to need 100.
That's correct.
Based on what the rest of it is.
And the last one on this card is a 1 in the thousands place, a 1 in the hundreds place. I don't know how many tens, but I know 0 ones. Absolutely. So guess what? What do I need there, Tammy?
You need a 10 there because I need one more 100, and it takes 10 tens to make 100.
There you go.
Okay. So I would have 1,100, 10 tens, and no ones, or 0 ones.
Oh, you're tricky. That was exactly the same as the one before.
It was.
Wow.
And sometimes you will see we did that intentionally to our students learning about that and being able to use that patterning and that knowledge from before.
Okay, so let's look at another one.
So we start off with those lots of 0 digits to help kids really get that. And then we do, before we head into the 10,000s, we give you 4 digits that are not 0.
Right. We give you some value in those places. Absolutely. So again, on 7,453, we would expect 7,000s, 400s, 5 tens, and 3 ones as the most efficient way to solve that. But if you skip on down, do that third one for me.
Okay. So the third one says that you have 4 thousands.
Okay, I'm missing 3,000 there.
Oh, okay. But then I look in the hundreds column and it says 32.
Ooh, there's my
3,000s
back.
but I only have 200s and I needed 4.
Okay.
So I'm missing 200s.
Okay.
I go to the 10 and it has a question mark, and I go to the 3 and it has 3. So
we're good there.
We're good there, but I'm missing 200s and 5 10s, so that's 25 10s.
There you go.
Okay, so you'll see.
Yeah, it's cumulative. They have to keep track of what's missing from each place.
And they have to look on before they can finish that.
Right.
To see. And each one only has one question mark. So there's only one possible answer, not multiple possible answers when you did this. You certainly could do that at some point when a kid wrote their own. It just makes it more difficult for you.
Well, there's potentially more than one right answer for each question mark that you have. Okay.
Right. So then we move into the 10,000s. Again, we go back to using 0 digits, either in the 1s and the 10s, or 110, sometimes even the 100s. So this one's 54,700.
Okay.
So again, you write that efficiently, and then you come down. And Renee, why don't you try that bottom one?
Okay, so I know I have 4 10,000s, but I need 5. And I have 4 thousands, which is what I needed, but I'm still missing the 1 10,000. Oh, you're killing me here. And then the zeros are in the 10s and 1s. So I need 10,700, and I have to build it as hundreds. So I'm saying 100 to get I need 100 here.
Yeah.
And 107.
Yes.
107. You're straining my brain today.
So as this deck goes, we're really working on each one of those places is 10 times more.
That's
you
correct.
had to go back 2 places.
I had to go back 2 places to get to the 100.
To get to the 100. So I need 100 hundreds.
Uh-huh.
Oh, but I also needed the 7 that was already there.
Right.
So
perfect. Okay.
Okay.
And then finally, we just moved over another place to 100,000.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because this deck goes up to 1,000,000. We don't do anything in the millions column, so we'll go all the way up to it.
999.
And we don't typically change every numeral, every digit to be a non-zero. Really trying to work on that patterning of place value. So now we have 435,000.
Okay.
Okay, which one do you want me to do?
The third one down.
The third one down. Okay, it says that I have 300,000, so I'm missing 1.
Got it.
Okay. 10,000s is where my question is, but I better keep looking and see what's there.
Mm-hmm.
In the thousands place, I have a 4. Oh, so I'm missing a 1,000 now also.
But you get it back in the hundreds.
Oh, but then I get it back in the hundreds.
So you're not missing anything but this.
Technically, all I'm missing is that 100,000, and I need to do it in the tens column. So
10,000s column.
In the 10,000s column, so that's just going to be a 10. But I also need the 3 that's already there, so it's 13.
Boom. Good job.
Okay.
Woo. Lots to keep track of.
It is lots to keep track of.
Mental gymnastics.
It's great for kids to deepen that understanding of place value. You, again, highly recommend you start with that 0 to 999. Make sure they have the concept in the below 1,000 before you move.
Right.
Get them to move. Get them to move into those higher numbers.
Right.
Also be looking for, we're coming out with a decimals activity, very similar to this, that will start with 4th grade as well.
Right.
So thank you for joining us today.